I always have to assume that there are new people watching. If you want to check out a channel that's going to talk about spectacular conspiracy theories that you can't prove, bye. This channel is about verifiable news. And we're taking a look at the big picture. We're in a big point in the history of our civilization. We take a look at what's happening in America. We are aware of information that others are not. And the information that we are aware about, we know that around 20% is what's up, the optical of what's happening. And it's more like 80% covert. We also know that we are in the final battle for humanity. We also know that there are more good guys than there are bad. We know, we have a pretty good idea, especially if you come to this channel, who the real bad guys are and how information war works. Yeah. And the techniques that the enemy uses, among one of them being the 4 a.m. drops. But then if you come to this channel where we look at the psychology of what's happening, we are examining the behavior of the enemy in the context of all these things I just said, plus the Trump's personal website parked on DoD servers. Boom. The online research project. So if you come to this channel, people, you're going to be armed you're like the Terminator with these weapons, compared to some little tiny kid with a pocket knife. And we're to be armed in a real information war God created in the womb. They're executing these innocent babies that are going straight to be with the Lord. Can you imagine the army of unborn babies in heaven hanging out with Jesus and God? Can you imagine? Never thought of that. But they're executing these babies, and while all this is happening, this misery that we're in, they actually have the audacity tonight to do something I never saw it coming, although we're never really surprised at what these demons are capable of. They have the audacity to insert themselves in a time machine. This is beyond sorcery. The enemy is inserting themselves into a time machine. They punch in the time where, what time do you want to go back into? They could have punched in 1920s. They could have punched in 1975. They could have done anything, but they went into this time machine and they punched in 2020. And follow up, I've been sharing, well, put it this way, people. I've been sharing with everyone that they've been lying about the numbers. And I like this article right here because they're showing you that the Biden administration, they're not only lying about the numbers, but they're showing you how they're lying about the numbers. Now, I already showed everyone one of the ways that they're lying about the gas numbers. They're showing you relative numbers. And this is statistics. Everybody should know the difference. What I like about what's happening here is that in this article, they're being called out. The Biden administration continues to tout misleading gas prices in their messaging to the American people using what, quote, the most common price of gas instead of the national average. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the most common number in the field of statistics, this is like the median. There's a difference between the median and the mean. The mean is the average. So this is another trick they've been caught, and there it is. There, this White House press secretary, she's talking about, that $3.49 is the most common price of gas. And again, it's another trick, while the national average is actually $3.79. Thank you for playing goodbye. But there it is. It's a trick that they're using with this most common price. And it's very, it's a different number, and it's pure deception. Be aware of that. We'll leave it at that. Be aware in case anyone tries to tell you on the left, oh, no, it's going down. No, it's not. They're lying about the numbers. All right? I just want to put out this segment about the crime wave that's happening. And it came, Tucker Carlson's putting out a lot of incredible information lately. Thank you. But what I'll do, I want you guys to hear a segment of this, because in all of this, Tucker is making a very important point that cannot be overlooked. And listen in, people. This is a very big point that he's made. Let's see if we can find it in this segment. We'll listen to a couple minutes of this. Listen in.
But in the end, you don't need to convince people that crime is real, because they live here too. Crime is everywhere. In New York, crime on public transit is up more than 40%. And not just pickpocketing. Now, this video that we're about to show you is not an aberration necessarily. It just so happens this was caught on tape. But this is exactly the reason that people are afraid to ride the subway. This weekend, a man was...
All right, lady, I'm going to interrupt Tucker. Sorry about that. This video that he's going to show us is shocking. So get ready. If you're sensitive, you might want to look the other way.
Are up 47%. Now, why is this happening? It's not an accident. None of this is an accident. Crime is rising as a direct result of policies designed to make crime rise, and at the same time, any effort by normal people, middle-class people, to defend themselves is immediately met with the full ferocity of the state. So this is an attempt, of course, to destroy the American middle class. Let's just be honest about it. This is crime with a purpose.
There it is. Obviously, this goes on, but I want it. Yeah, this is crimes with a purpose to destroy the middle class. I agree with Tucker. And then he plays a bunch of videos that we already played on this channel. That's why it pays to get ahead of the news cycle. He shows you what this district attorney in Philadelphia is saying. It's a perfect example. It's not about coming to truth on our TV necessarily. Obviously, in this channel, we have more information that no one else has, thanks to Trump's online research project and putting everything in the right context and not over-focusing on irrelevant news. But it shows you that others, a lot of people are seeing it's right there in front of you, that all of this has a purpose. That is for your consideration. He puts that out, and in the context, and there it is, people, just like we're saying. Failed New York Governor Hochul dismisses New Yorkers' very real concerns of rampant crime. And she is coming out basically saying, like it says here, on Monday, failed New York Governor Kathy Hochul dismissed the crime fears of New Yorkers, saying that a few high-profile crimes have, quote, created a sense of fear in people's minds. So, yeah, you let that sink in, people. And again, they're coming out. She says, quote, and what I can do is my New York Transit, MTA Transit Police, I can bring them in and have them be fortifying our main transit hubs. And she goes on, all it is a cooperative effort to respond to, the high-profile instances which have created a sense of fear in people's minds. Yeah, And then she says, I think that's going to make people feel a lot better. Yeah, when they see that. So be aware that in the World War III, I think this is intriguing. Iran implies Russia using its drones in Ukraine without its permission. Really? Well, there's two possibilities here. One of them is, I told you guys not to get too caught up with this. It ain't like Russia's buddies with Iran necessarily, which is the CIA talking point. So I would say I told you so. But without getting into any reading part of this, Iran is coming out, yeah, what? Our relationship with Turkey is at risk because of this Western intel report from last week that Russia, that we're giving Russia these drones. Wow, we just realized that we didn't give Russia permission. We're going to have to investigate this. All of a sudden, Iran is worried about their relationship with Turkey. Really, if you read this, people, it kind of comes out as kind of comical. But anyway, we're not going to get into that tonight either. How about this? Pelosi calls for more funding for Ukraine. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. That is the way this works. More like more. Senator Marshall, to introduce legislation to defund far left district attorneys. How big that alone would solve the crime spree that we are dealing with. So, but maybe they should introduce it in January. Hey, slow it down. Yeah, wink, wink. You guys decide. And then we have Elise Stefanik coming out, vows to subpoena what? Andrew Cuomo for what? Over nursing home scandal. Right when everyone thought that everyone forgot about this. We're going to get these people. Shut up. Shh, shh. Nobody say anything. We're going to get them. The nursing home scandal is a big, big deal. Think about it. And to wrap up tonight, let's see what Trump is saying. We have Trump coming out. He's posting this thing from Hannity, right? Don, call it a comeback. Trump drops 2024 hint. I'll probably have to do it again. Trump is wanting us to see that. All right, common sense, all right? Thank you, everybody. All of this is common sense. Obviously, the enemy's panicking. Everyone is seeing it. You don't have to necessarily come to Truth on Our TV just to see what everybody else is seeing. That's why they call it the Great Awakening. However, this channel is about staying ahead of the curve. We're looking at the big picture and relevant news. They are panicking. They created this. Again, what goes around comes around. What they're walking right into their own trap. Like we said yesterday. They know it. They know that we know it. So that is why they're almost beating to death anyone who even supports Ron DeSantis or Marco Rubio. And they thought that if they could create this Trump straw man, they could link their opponents to anyone who supports Trump. And Governor Hochul is finding out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Come to the members channel of Truth on Our TV. If you're not a member, sign up today. Check out the latest on the members channel. We're going to continue the series on the Operation Trust. Be on the lookout for part 6 and the final part coming up soon this week. Also on the members channel, there's this biblical topic, which I think everyone should watch. Yeah, let's remove the confusion. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. God bless you all, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Share the links on the channel. Check out all the links in the description box, right? And pray for me, and I'll pray for you, right? And ladies and gentlemen, everything is happening according to the plan.